Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. So, still a little bit under the weather today, but feeling a little bit more energetic than yesterday. So we're going to see if we can get a nice solid stream in. And yeah, we will see how it goes. So today we're going to be continuing on with the effort that I was starting yesterday, which is beefing up the bigger cards. So the large cards needing to have more abilities. And so we're just kind of like stepping through each of the cards and adding abilities where appropriate. But before I get into all that, I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis is available for wishlisting on Steam, so check that out. If you're interested, that would help me out a lot. You could also support me on Patreon if you subscribe at this top tier here. This is like a pre-purchase of the game. I'll send you an Alchemortis Steam key when the game launches. So check that out. And I also have my Udemy courses available for sale that will teach you how to build complete games in the Godot engine. So all those are great ways to support me. You can also join the Discord, which is linked below, as well as everything else. So yeah, let's see how the stream goes today. Hello, Aliant. Me when the eye. Okay. All right. Hello, Base XRP. Welcome. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Hello, Emerson. Good to see you. Hello, Chris. Thank you, thank you. Good to see you again. Hello, Ninja Link. Good morning, good morning. Jahar, welcome. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So I think the last one that I updated was, what? Embalming fluid? Excuse me. So we're going to click through these cards. Let's see, embalming fluid, where is that? Here. So we're just going to click through these things, figure out which cards are large and require some additional abilities. The frog card here needs to be redone. Okay, cat, I get it. Damn cat. I mean, dang cat. Kept just meowing. Needed to be buried, I guess. I think he's satisfied now. Okay, so frog, that's going to need to be redone. Funeral pyre, that's probably one that I need to figure out. Let's see. The funeral pyre does fire scaled fire. Okay, well, we want to get rid of this as well. So let's just refactor this while we're at it. All right, so let's do this. Bar composed is equal to new composed ability. Alrighty. Fire scale fire. Just grab these things, I suppose. New ability. Configuration. Abilities equals that. What else? Abilities. Description funk. What was the last thing that I needed? Scaling funk, right. Okay, let's fix all these issues here. It's a magnitude of 4. What just happened? That was weird. Okay. Did you see that? Also, buying a quarter pounder for lunch is a way to support. Yeah, true. Very true. In the UK, they changed the Big Tasty to use Big Mac sized burgers instead of huge ones, so it's no longer big or very tasty. Back to perma double quarter pounders. Oof. That's not fun. I don't need this here, I don't think. Excuse me. Gosh. Query target provider. think that should work. So I think these abilities, I just need to put the query target provider in there as well as the dynamic damage ability. Okay, and then we need the scaling function. So we'll just grab this. I think I'll change this a little bit. Scalar is equal to ability. Scalars.getFireScalar. Okay. I think that's it. So just refactoring that into the new ability system here, and then we'll add the description here. This should be per allied card that applies fire. Shrinkflation boo. Hey, thank you for the $6, Chris. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Maybe I will get McDonald's in your honor today. That's very generous. Thank you. Very much appreciate that. Yummers, it's the wrong person for that, but McDonald's is Yummers. Thank you again. Appreciate that. All right, man, I'm sick of being sick. It's been a week now that I've been sick. Not fun. Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, I'll get better eventually, but eventually can't come soon enough. It's just like, being sick in the winter is the worst too, because it's cold outside and you'd have to go out and do stuff. Anyway. Okay, so we need another ability for the fire here. So that was just a refactor. I can get rid of this fire scaled fire, I think. So I've just been gradually deleting these pre-made abilities. We just make sure that this is not used anywhere else. It is not. Okay, so I can delete this here. I have to delete it from within Godot so that it also deletes the UID file, which is kind of annoying, but I wonder if there is an extension for that VS Code where it can automatically delete the UID file as well. I wonder how hard that would be to make. Oh no, my bad, yeah. That's Snupbill, yep. Okay, so we'll just stage those. So what other abilities should we give to the funeral pyre? Let's see. Additional ability could be to project increased crit damage to fire cards on your board, maybe crit chance. Yeah, we could do that. Let's see. Applies 4 fire per allied card that applies fire. Yeah, we could do, let's see. How would I do a buff? I think I have a Stein. What am I doing? Did I call it a beer mug? Yeah. Ability builder critical chance buff. Configure. Duration magnitude. Yeah, we could do that. So let's see if I can do this. Bar critical chance buff is equal to ability builder dot critical chance buff. Okay, duration 1, magnitude, let's do 10. Query options. We're going to do query options dot tag filter. No, we're not going to do a tag filter. We're going to do a custom filter. Oh, this is going to be tough, actually. Custom filter card dot has ability of type. Yeah, this is going to be hard for a number of reasons, but query options dot query directions is equal to board inventory component dot query directions dot entire board. So we'll add the critical chance buff there. So the problem here is that this description function is wrong. This is really sloppy, but we'll just do this. I need to figure out a better way of doing this, but that's all right. Oh, this doesn't need to be nullable. I think this is irrelevant. Cool. And then we could do description func or that. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a better way of doing this. I don't know. Probably not. Return increases critical chance of all cards, all allied cards that apply fire by... Shoot, this is not going to work. Dang it. Found out that enabling the editor option for import resources when on focus really matters when using an external editor. Yeah, that helps quite a bit. Hello, Rin. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Ugh. Look at something. Why does this keep happening? Buff applicator. Let's see. Where is this used? Okay. I'm trying to think if there's a better way of doing this. Buff applicator. I think this is old code. Max targets. Query target provider, get cached targets. Query results. I'm just checking something. If I have a limit in here, get query result. Oh. Well, this is a little bit wonky here. Ideally, I would not be using this buff critical chance anymore. But I don't know if I want to fix it everywhere where it's being used. Oh yeah, okay. We won't worry about that yet. So the problem is, I mean, ideally, like a critical chance buff ability would be kind of reusable, but the problem is, the thing that's not reusable is this description function. Because if I'm changing how the targets that are going to receive the critical chance buff are chosen, then the description has to change to reflect that. But there's not really a good standardized way of generating like a description string from that. Increases critical, like, especially if all these query options in here. I kind of have this to query string here, but I wonder if I should build this out, this to query string here. I wonder if that's going to make my life easier. To query string. What happens if I do this? If I take, let me try this. Maybe I can make this work. Let's see. Increases critical chance, get rid of this. And in here we do buff critical chance dot query options to query string. I wonder if that's going to break anything. We'll get rid of this description func here. That could work. Let's get rid of this. I'm going to need the beer mug and the funeral pyre. Okay, 1 second here. Trying to mute myself while I'm hacking up my lungs. Are you going to buff the imp too? Yes. Had your code review video pop up in my feed the other day and enjoyed it. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hello, Neozoid. The unintentional rabbit hole. Seriously. I was debugging a thing at work for several days now to find out that events were needed was coming from another WebSocket topic. Love being paid for this. Well, yeah. Being stuck on a bug while you're getting paid is not the worst thing in the world. Increase the critical chance of minion cards by 5%. So this should be allied minion cards. So I need to change that. Let's go to query string. Let's do var alignment is equal to query source board. This would be allied Okay, so we've got the tag filter. Can I just slap the alignment in here? Alignment there. Why is this string is just of? Let's just do this. Of. I think the plan was to make that string a little bit bigger or expand that out more, but see what happens. For cough mixture or cheeseburger, whichever helps. Thank you, Rin, for the Australian $10. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. And yeah, I will use that for a cheeseburger. I have cough drops and stuff, so I think I'm set there. But thank you, that's very generous. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. You guys are making my day. I'm at that stage in being sick where like it just starts to be frustrating, you know, where it's like you have patience for the first couple of days that you're sick, but then you just get tired of being sick, so you're like, okay, I get it. It's done. Please be over now. Anyway. Here's the cat. Hi, cat. People missed you. I missed you. I missed you while I was in China. Pew, 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 pew. I've been home for a week now, though, so he's over it. You're over it already? Okay, let's take a look at this. Increases critical chance of allied minion cards by 5% for 1 execution. Very nice. So maybe this query string is going to be useful here. So now, let's see what the funeral pyre says. Increases critical chance of allied cards by 10% for 1 execution. So this is the part where it's not going to be easy because so the problem here is that I've got a custom filter, and the custom filter is a function, and there's not really a straightforward way of translating that custom filter into plain English language. Now, the one thing that is true is I am mostly using the custom filter just to check if a card has ability of type. So I almost wonder if I can create a new card type filter function. I could create a new standalone property in here that's like filter by ability type or something like that, because then that would be easier to turn into plain language. The other thing that I could do is I could require that the custom filter return not just a Boolean, or no, let me think. Or I could do like a custom filter description or something. Why does this keep happening? I'm going to restart my VS Code. I don't know why that's happening. So I could do custom filter description here. And maybe that would work. Hello, Sanzo. Good morning to you. It's funny because I said belly. It's like a code error. I don't get that. But welcome back. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. All right, give me just 1 second here. Okay. So what am I going to do about this? Let's see. What Let me see where this custom filter is used. Has ability of type. Has ability of type. Oh, but this has an extra thing as well. Has ability of type poison. Okay. I think the easiest thing to do is going to be to do this. Public string custom filter description. Oops, I already did that. Okay, cool. Now, where would that go in here? So, let's see. Query options.custom filter description is equal to that apply fire, I guess. Custom filter description. Does that work? Oh. We need to change this a little bit. Okay, let's do this. Oops. Option is equal to not string not is null or empty custom filter description. Okay, and then we could do custom filter description here. All right, let's see what that does. Increase the critical chance of allied cards that apply fire by 10% for one execution. Awesome. The last thing that I need to do, though, is I need to make sure that this has the little sentinels there. I think that's what they're called. Increase the critical chance of allied cards that apply fire by 10% for one execution. There we go. Alrighty. I suppose if we wanted to be thorough, we could test that. So let's give it a quick test here. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see if this applies the buff here. Yep, critical chance increased by 10%. Look at that. And that should have cleared now. Very good. Nice. Cool. Excuse me. Gosh. All right. Funeral pyre has been updated. We're just going through, we're making everything a little bit more, all the large cards a little bit more appealing. This is in addition to the alchemy changes that I made for the large cards as well. Giant squid. I don't know if the giant squid needs any help. Let's take a look at the giant squid and see what's up. Apply 25% blind to a random enemy card. Apply 1 poison, apply 1 poison, apply 1 poison. Let's just buff that number, I guess. I think this one's pretty much okay, though. That one already has a bunch of poison abilities. Yeah, that was one of the better cards, yeah. I do think I'll just beef it up a little bit, though. Okay, Grimoire. I think the Grimoire is okay. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, the Grimoire has like 4 abilities wrapped into 1 ability, which is nice. I don't think the Grimoire needs any help. Let's see. It's got a low turn cooldown. It's pretty powerful. The Grimoire is probably alright. I've been trying to learn everything and work on 3D because I thought it'd be easier, but it's a nightmare. Yeah, 3D is hard. 3D is hard. Let's take a look at what the guillotine has. The guillotine, it's not really a large card. It's three occupied cells. But we may want to add another ability to it or just buff it. Apply 1 bleed per enemy minion card. Let's just buff that. Okay. Hammer, heart. Hellspawn egg, it doesn't need anything, but maybe the imp will. So here's the imp. Let's open up the imp and see what that does. I think the imp just projects fire to adjacent cards. So we need another ability for the imp as well. Hello, the Dollite. Welcome, welcome. 3D isn't hard. Asset creation for 3D is hard, yeah. Grimoire is hard to rate, honestly. It's both good, but not at the same time, yeah. May just be the style I'm doing, but it's easier than 2D. Lack of resources make it even more difficult. Couldn't find a single video explaining how the heck I can integrate animation tree blending on my state machine and hitboxes in 3D. May just be the style I'm going for, but oh yeah. I would like to try 3D at some point, but I've got other things to do. Gotta make sure Alchemortis is a hit. Maybe it deals 1 fire damage for every card it projected to as an additional ability. Yeah, I could do that. Let's see. Why is this here? Adjacent, just adjacent, I guess. Is this used anywhere else? Oh, the boss mayor. Just cleaning up this old code here. Delete. Goodbye. Okay. So yeah, the imp. What are we going to do about the imp here? I'm planning to buy your Godot multiplayer course. Which language are you using on the course? C# or GD script? GD script. Yep. GD script. The only C# course is the one that's explicitly C#. Okay, what else? Yeah, what abilities we're gonna get? So we could do fire-related abilities. We could do... What do you think? We could do something like responding to fire damage taken, maybe. Maybe like apply shield based on fire damage taken. Let me think. Apply shield based on fire damage taken. No, we already have something like that. We could do a heal, maybe. I think the projectability is already pretty good on 2x2 card. Yeah, that's another option we don't have to do. We don't have to add another ability to it. Current one alone is really good. Yeah, maybe we don't do anything, because it is very powerful. Okay, we won't do anything then. We will just keep it moving along. Alright, so we were at Imp, right? Oh my gosh, I have so many cards. Imp, alright. Iron Maiden, this is going to be one that we need to do. So right now the Iron Maiden, all it does is it does... It'll be easier to read it here if I do this. Doing damage based on the other ability projected would be more interesting since it hasn't been done yet. Yeah. You can buff it later. Okay, so this one is particularly egregious because it only has one ability. So the Iron Maiden applies 5 bleed. Exhaust a left adjacent minion. If a minion was exhausted, apply 10 bleed instead. We could make this scale off the player's health, maybe. We could do something like, to do apply 1 bleed per 10 player health or something. We don't have any abilities that scale off of your health yet, so that could be an interesting thing. Heal based on the number of times bleed was applied since the last execution. Yeah, we could do that too. We could do 3 abilities on this card because it's a large card. It's a 2x3. So don't need to be shy with the abilities. So how am I going to do this? I actually don't know how to get the current player health value. Status provider. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll just copy this. New file. Let's do board health provider. The Iron Maiden demands blood sacrifices for the blood god. Yeah. Board health provider. I think this could be an I. Ability value provider. Private int. Board health provider. We can make it based on current health, but that's all right. Let's just return. Get rid of this. Target board dot health component dot max health. Oh, this is a float. That's a float. Okay. I'll figure that out. Max health equals mathf dot round to int health. That'll work. So now we got the board health provider, which currently only works off of max health, but that's all right. Okay, so we need the health provider. Wait, do I have a board health percent provider? What the heck? Where in the heck is this even used? Ah. Interesting. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. So I already have a board health percent provider. So I could either merge these or just, I think I'll just keep them separate. Let me think. Let's just keep them separate. So board health provider, we're gonna rename this to board max health provider. Okay. Board max health provider. There we go. Okay, so we've got this. So if I want to make it do like 1 bleed per 10 health, how do I actually do that? I don't know how to do that in my current system. Dynamic bleed is equal to new dynamic magnitude ability. Scaled value provider. Health divided by 10. I don't have a scaled value provider. Wait. That is an interesting idea, though, Mr. Copilot. Driving you unadulteratedly insane. Did you by chance address the bug or report it for this card? Depending on the result of that, really determines how good or bad that first ability is. I don't know what the bug is. I don't remember what it is. If you want to refresh my memory. Okay. Oh, I guess I could set the multiplier to 0.1. Can I do that? Scalar is equal to value scalar, set multiplier 0.1. That should work. Dynamic bleed. Value scalar. Bleed here. Okay. So we do the board health provider here. And then the dynamic bleed, I think. Now, how do I scale this? That's the question. I'm getting confused. It was doubling the bleed even after the minions to the left were exhausted when the card says only when the card is exhausted does it double. It was doubling the bleed even after the minions to the left were exhausted. Yeah, the doubling bleed is permanent. So the way that the card is intending to work is the way that the card intends to work is that if you exhaust a minion, then it gains the double bleed permanently. Because exhaust is a permanent condition, right? So you would only be able to get that doubling bleed once if it didn't work permanently. Maybe I can change the wording, but yeah, that's not a bug. That's how it's supposed to work. Add 1. Well, the thing is, the multiplier is weird here. I need to probably change this. Shoot. Probably need to change this, how this scaling works. Could have sworn it exhausted multiple cards. Maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah, it shouldn't exhaust multiple cards. It only exhausts one at the when it first executes. It only exhausts one card, and then it won't. Maybe it does exhaust. That might be a bug, actually. The fact that it exhausts more than one. Oh no, that shouldn't be the case either. Let me look. Oh wait, I was already on the Iron Maiden here. So yeah, this buff applicator for this exhaust and debuff here, this exhaust applicator, This will only apply exhaust if the number of executions is 0. So in other words, if this is the first execution, that's when it applies the exhaust. And it will never apply exhaust again after that because this execution count provider will be 1. So yeah, I think that I could test it more, but I'm pretty sure that it only exhausts 1 card. Anyway, how do I change this value scaler here? I guess I could just double it. Oh, I guess this multiplier could just go up. Okay. Come on, base, come on, change it. Base multiplier, thank you. Okay, scaling func. Ability scalars dot make float additive scalar 0.1. Bar new multiplier is equal to scalar base multiplier tier. Value scalar set multiplier new multiplier. And we'll get rid of that. Okay. So this now, this description function, this needs to be apply value scalar dot get current get multiplier times 10. Let's do mathf dot round to int. Apply bleed per 10 max player health. We'll use the word maximum instead. I think that's right. Excuse me. I think that's right. That is one of the more interesting abilities. Cool, it's been a while since the playtest, so my memory is a bit foggy. Yeah, no worries, no worries. So we need to probably put one more ability on this guy here. Apply 1 bleed per 10 maximum player health. Let's just see if this works real quick. Should have been applying 5 bleed. Did I do it wrong? Oh, it's applying 5 bleed twice. Why is it applying? Oh, because it applies 5 bleed here as well. So that is working. Cool. Okay, and then the last thing I think we want to do for the Iron Maiden is also make it heal. Let's just do this real quick. Beef up Iron Maiden. So we'll give it one more ability. We got to really beef up these larger cards and make them a little bit more enticing. Okay, so that worked. I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will we'll continue on. We want to add one more ability here, and then we'll just keep going through the larger cards and see what we could do with them. So I will BRB real quick, and then we'll continue on. All right, I'm back. I love you're putting so much work into a mythical device made by a guy in the 19th century to decorate his castle, the Iron Maiden. Is that true? The Iron Maiden's not a real thing? I believe it if that's true. But the nice thing about the fantasy video game is that we can make things real that aren't real. Hello, Mabs Games. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's give this one more ability here, and we'll see what goes on. Okay, var. Yep, true, never used, completely mythical. New composed ability. So we need to track how many times bleed was applied now. Let me look. Gee dang. You know, I wasn't coughing much this morning, but as soon as I started talking for the stream, the coughs have arisen. Let's see. So damage taken provider. What else? Let me look at Sage here. Poison tracker, ability type tracker provider. Now what in the heck? Ability type tracker provider. Ability type tracker provider. Now wait a minute. Hold on a second. My settings app just crashed. I didn't know Windows is that unstable. Yeah, Windows is a heaping pile of garbage. But the problem is that it still has what am I thinking of? Oh my gosh, my brain is farting. Still has some advantages over things like Linux and Mac. The other one advantage is that Mac is also garbage. So they're competing. I know that's maybe a hot take, but I hate everything about Macs. Except for, I like the ARM chips, or the Apple chips, Apple Silicon. I don't think it's ARM technically, but they're very, very power efficient, which is nice. Very powerful too. But, yeah, there's just certain apps that just still only work on Windows, and it's like, once that changes though, Windows is in trouble. It's my garbage, yeah. Yep. Anyway. I don't understand this ability type tracker provider. I thought I was moving away from this. Why is this here? Shoot, I keep going down this rabbit hole. I don't remember. My ability execution. Why does this need to listen for abilities? Oh. Uh-oh. Can you guys still hear me? OBS Studio says reconnection successful. Am I still here? Did the stream blip? I think I'm still alive. So I use Arch, by the way. I recently switched to using Arch plus, is it pronounced GNOME? That's my daily driver because Windows 11 was pissing me off so much. I can't use Linux as my daily driver. There's always something that comes up that's just a major pain in my rear. Every time I try to use Linux, it's like 95% okay, and then the last 5% is just like this thorn in my side that makes it not worth using. Hello, Defected. Welcome, welcome. I hear you. Okay, still here. Good, good. So I'm just looking at this ability type tracker provider because I need to use this for the ability that I want, the new ability I want to add to the Iron Maiden here. This on ability executed. Oh, I know why. Okay. So my main question was going to be, why is this not using the turn history, but it is. So if you recall, I have this turn history, this concept of a turn history entry, which basically every ability that ever gets executed during the course of a combat encounter gets logged to the turn history. And the reason that that is there is because then I can look back in the history and calculate all kinds of data. So I can see how much total damage the player received between turns of index 5 and 10, right? Or I could say how many times did an ability of the type fire, so how many times did a fire ability execute since combat began. So all that's tracked in here. And so this ability type tracker provider, this itself is an ability that gives me data that I can pull into any other abilities that I'm making. But it needs to listen for when an ability is executed immediately. Because typically abilities, how do I want to describe this? Abilities only execute when the card turn cooldown is finished. But if you've got something that's like scaling based off of the number of times fire has been applied, for instance, then I may want to update the description of that card to reflect accurately the amount of scaling. So I actually have to listen for abilities being executed and then force update the whatever count I'm keeping track of when that ability gets executed. But this update count is also called when the normal execution happens. Anyway, it's a little bit weird, but I think this ability type tracker provider is what I need. I was just making sure that I understand what's going on here. So now, ability type tracker provider, I just need to figure out how to actually use this. I think I'll just copy the witch here. Why not? Copy this. Heal ability. Heal ability type tracker provider. Type of bleed. We can get rid of this. Value scaler ability tracker. Dynamic heal. Does this reset? Track entire history has to be true for that too. Okay, that's fine. Blade. Value scaler. Heal ability. Okay. This is get heal scaler. Okay. This is going to be heal. for each time. Wait a minute. An allied card applied bleed. Oh, I just noticed a bug too. In the Burning Witch. Okay, is that it? Can I be done with this card now? Bleed, scaled, heal. Let's take a look at that, see if it works. Genome. Obviously it's different OS UI, so part of it is learning something new, but if you don't want to do that, then you can maybe do Pop OS Zorin. Yeah, I tried Zorin. I liked Zorin a lot because I like the Windows like layout and presentation. So Zorin being Windows-like in terms of its presentation is definitely nice, but there were just still weird stuff that I just couldn't get around or couldn't live with. DIY myself where I dropped all the Windows hotkeys and features on top of Genome that I wanted. Switched to Mac back in 2003 and have never had a problem. Never found a piece of software I couldn't use, but I accept everyone's needs are unique. Piece of software, yeah. Wine is abysmal on OS X. All right, let's see. Heal 1 for each time an allied card applied bleed since last execution. Let's see if this works. Okay. Healed 2, so it's healing 2 because it's applying bleed twice and it's scaling off of itself, which is nice. Oh. Now it's healing 4. It must be inclusive. So I wonder if there's a bug in here. Get previous turn execution index. Int from start index. Is that right? Let me think. I think there may be some overlap in here. There may be a bug here. So if the Iron Maiden goes, it's going to apply 2 bleeds and then it should heal 2. And then in the next turn it goes, it should apply 2 bleeds and then heal 2, but it's healing 4, which means that I think this... last turn execution index. Get previous turn execution index. Yeah, so I think that this is inclusive when I want it to be exclusive, right? So let's just put +1 there. That would have been a bug with everything that uses that ability tracker, so let's see if this fixes it. Whew. I gotta get a bunch of work done here and then set up another playtest because I have a bunch of large changes that I would really like to get your opinions on. I also need to start putting in a lot of effort to getting wish lists. I'm only sitting at like 1,100 wish lists right now. So I need to get that. I need to get those numbers up quite a lot. I think what I might start doing is... yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I have a lot to do. It's just kind of like a matter of sequencing. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. to think about it, but I think in worst case scenario, even if the game is quote unquote finished, I think what I will do is I won't release the game until I do an adequate marketing effort and build up the wish list. So if I need to sit on the game for 6 months because it doesn't have the proper wish list, then I'll do that. Okay, I think that's working. Cool. Shorts for wish lists, they just reach way more people. Yeah, the problem is I'm just not that great at coming up with videos or shorts that are like, number one, very eye-catching and like CTR grabbing, and number two, that do a good job with the call to action. So I should do more shorts, but I just got to figure out what the heck kind of shorts to do, I suppose. Actually, those micro tutorials might be a good way to do it. Maybe I should do some more micro tutorials. I'm just going to look at my YouTube studio real quick. Yeah, the one micro tutorial I did got 27,000 views, so maybe I should do more of those. Can I have suggested, do you put the sprites for your entities or objects on the same place as their scripts and scene, or do you have a separate assets folder and organize them on that? Yeah, so when I organize, the way that I organize my project is that I have assets, which are audio and art assets all together here in an assets directory. Then I have a resources directory, which is just for saving resources, custom or otherwise. Then I have a scenes directory, which is just scenes. Then I have a scripts directory, which is just scripts. And the reason I do that is because, like, the scenes and scripts being separate from each other, the reason is, like, in this game, I have a ton of scripts. Like, every script in this data folder does not correspond to a scene at all. So I would need to have a separate scripts folder anyway, even if I wanted to, like, keep the scripts and the scenes together. So what I do is I mirror my scene and script directory, so you can see that scenes auto-load, scripts auto-load. I mirror where there is a match between them, but otherwise, they're separate. Like, there's no scenes data because that's just a pure scripts directory there. But the organization is not super important. The only thing that matters is that you and or your team can work efficiently in the file system and find what you're looking for. So, yeah. But that's how I do it. What is this? Why is this here? Can I delete this? Okay. I'll ask Chalacade what his process is, and I'll let you know. I don't know who that is. Oh, maybe it's one of the YouTube Shorts creators you shared in the Discord. I don't know. Anyway, excuse me. Now, wait a minute. I might have done this wrong again. Yeah, this is actually wrong. This should be get previous turn execution index. Maybe I'll just make this -1. -1 there, and then add 1 there. Okay, I think that was actually going to introduce a different bug, so let's just fix that real quick. He's making the game. Moonshine has a hefty following, mostly because of shorts pop off. I'll have to think about that. I gotta get over this freaking sickness, though, first. I haven't been able to get, like, any work done in the past week because I've just been so exhausted. And I can't really do videos while I'm all congested. That wouldn't be very good. I mean, I guess I could. But I think what I'm going to do this afternoon is I'm actually going to update the Steam page. I'm going to change all the copy and everything. And then I'm going to try to share the trailer around in several places. See if I could get some wishlist action from that. Update the screenshots, all that good stuff. The Iron Maiden is feeling a lot more useful now. That's good. Okay. Anyway. Update Iron Maiden. Okay, that one took a while, but this is well worth the effort. Let's go figure out... where is the Iron Maiden? Why can I not find I? Here. Okay, jellyfish. I actually forgot what the jellyfish does. It might be lame. Ah. Jellyfish. Damage, damage, poison. I guess that's okay. It would probably make more sense for the jellyfish to do paralysis. Wonder why I didn't do that. Anyway. Lantern. I think the lantern is actually pretty powerful. Shield on fire applied. We don't need to worry about that. Mandrake. Marionette. I feel like the marionette is not that powerful. Let's beef this up a little bit. Okay. Give me 1 second. The dog is making some weird noises. He's fine. Moonshine Monday is a fun watch mostly. AI Firebelly videos. AI Firebelly videos. Actually, somebody complained about the automatic dubbing that was on my YouTube videos, so I went through every video that had been automatically AI dubbed and I just deleted all of them. Then I disabled the feature. I was getting attacked. I was getting roasted. The guy was like, basically, you suck for enabling this. And I was like, all right. Yeah, that's good advice. I probably will keep the scripts and scenes together because I have a script for almost every scene. Yeah, whatever. The organization is just whatever is easiest for you. Like, you don't want to get into a situation where you're copying somebody else's organization system and then it takes you like an inordinate amount of time to find what you're looking for. I think especially if you're a solo dev, it just makes more sense to organize your project intuitively to what you think is appropriate, because then it shortens the amount of time that you need to find resources. Like, for a lot of the resources in my game, I just know exactly where to find it. Like a script that I haven't worked on in months, you know, obviously if I remember the name of it, then I can just do this. But if I don't remember the name of it, then I basically know like the 1 or 2 places where the script could possibly be. And that dramatically narrows the amount of time that it takes to locate what you're looking for, which increases not just productivity, but like your developer experience, like how much fun you have working on the game will be directly impacted by those little points of friction, right? If it takes you, 3 minutes every time you want to locate something, then your enjoyment of the process of game development is gonna be severely hampered. That's why I like to emphasize developer experience above almost everything else, because that's the thing that has the most impact on whether or not you're going to finish your game. So, that's why I'm so adamant about being a little bit more verbose with my code as well, so that I can actually read the code and understand it and not have to struggle every time I want to make a change. So yeah. As a German, I have to agree that the auto-dubbing feature of YouTube is absolutely horrendous. Yeah, I did give it a listen. I was like, oh, this is terrible. It's enormously annoying, and the fact that you cannot disable it permanently regardless of how often you disable it per video is just infuriating. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I gave it a listen, and I was like, yeah. That doesn't sound good at all. Hello, Clickertail. Welcome, welcome. Anyway. What are we doing? Oh yeah, we got to go through Medusa Head. Yeah, the Medusa Head needs some help because the Medusa Head, I almost never use this. So what does this do? This does paralysis to up to 2 targets. Actually, let's just do this. Who hasn't seen the skeleton dragon yet? Who wants to see the skeleton dragon? I think the skeleton dragon is kind of lame in terms of its abilities, so if you guys have suggestions for what abilities you want it to have, but we'll check it out. There's the skeleton dragon. What do you think? So right now the abilities are apply 16 fire, apply 6 poison, and then it's immune to paralysis and immune to exhaust. So I think the immunity to paralysis and exhaust is interesting. One of the reasons why this is interesting is that this could negate, this immunity to exhaust could negate a card that requires that something get exhausted, right? So I'm trying to think of a good example. I can't really think of a good example, but imagine a card that like does a bunch of damage, but then as a side effect, it like exhausts one of your cards. You could slap this exhaust immunity onto it and basically negate that entire downside. Oh, I can still click these while the inspector is up. That's not fun. Okay, I gotta fix that. I'd like to see the dragon in game, sure, yeah. I use the Medusa Head ability all the time on smaller cards, yeah. It's time for game dev once again. Yes, indeed, Jackie Daytona, welcome back. Oh, that skeleton dragon looks so cool, thank you, yeah. Yeah, it's a 3x3, it's the first 3x3 card in the game. It will probably be only one of a handful of 3x3 cards because they are obviously very big. Okay, what is the bug? Can unlock board cells when inspector is opened. I don't know why that's happening, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, that's the skeleton dragon. It's a 3x3. Yeah, if you have any other suggestions for abilities, what could go on it, I'm not opposed to adding just more abilities to this, but if any of these should change as well, we could do that. I think it turned out pretty good. I think the wings are a little bit weird, but I don't really care that much. I think it gets the point across. So the Gorgon head here. Oh yeah, and I don't know how many of you were at the stream yesterday, but I have been fixing the problem of alchemizing things onto smaller cards. And so just to reiterate for those that weren't around yesterday, to fix the problem of the optimal strategy being to alchemize as many abilities onto small cards as possible, what I've done is I've added a stability system, which is basically the number of abilities a card can support before negative abilities start getting accrued onto them. So the negative abilities are the negative alchemy outputs, which could be things like self-damage or healing the enemy or whatever. And so larger cards naturally have higher stability, which means that you can put more abilities on larger cards before the negative abilities start to accrue. And the small cards have the opposite problem. You can only put so like, let me say this. The stability system is based on the number of cells that it occupies. So a 1x1 card occupies 1 cell. And that means that it has a stability of 1, which means that it can support 1 ability without negatives. As soon as you add a second ability to a 1x1 card, you will get a negative ability added to the card as well. And so if you added 5 additional abilities to a 1x1 card, then what you would get is you would get 5 negative abilities as well. And then I buffed the negative abilities to be a lot more impactful so they're not so easy to ignore. Since it's dead, shouldn't it have some sort of necrotic ability besides poison? I think that's the poison is really the only kind of like necrotic ability in the game. Could have a chance to add a negative ability to a random card you're using. The skeleton dragon, or are we talking about the stability system now? Anyway. Medusa head, yeah, let's see. This already has 2 abilities on it. I wonder if I should just buff it. Projects to ritual cards, deal 4 damage. I think this can be changed. Let me try this. I'm going to change this a second here. Increases critical chance of. Reduce remaining turns of. We're going to get rid of this of here. And then in my project ability here, this is going to be 2 above string. Above? Oh, I'm going to have to change that. Shoot. Anyway, I want to change this to query target provider dot query query options dot to query string projects to. Okay, so I need to do this above stuff. Adjacent above. Else if query directions dot has flag query directions dot up suffix equals above. I think that will work. Get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of that. This can be simplified. We're going to try to make use of that. We're going to try to use this to query string some more and see if that helps. That should help me. That should help consistent ties, standardize all of the descriptions across the game. But it's probably going to break some descriptions as well, but I'll just fix those as they come up. As you fight it, it tries to get its ultimate attack. If it reaches that threshold, it gives a random card you're holding a permanent negative ability. Oh, interesting. The problem with the card is that ritual cards typically don't deal much damage, so I ignore it. Plus, when you get ritual cards, you are more focused on poison or fire. It's a hard mix of multiple damage types together efficiently. So, could I just buff the projection? Oh, 2 allied ritual cards. Son of a biscuit. I'm gonna need to remove the space there. It's okay. A curse of sorts. Need to slow down my typing. I'm not typing coherent sentences. That's okay. I think I'm getting you. Phone typing is the worst. I'm getting better with my proofreading. Where did I go to China with my fiance? I did, yes. My fiance is Chinese, so I went to China mostly to meet her family. Projects 2 allied ritual cards, deal 4 damage. So that's right. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, we gotta figure out how to buff this thing. Physical damage doesn't really synergize well with other cards, so it isn't exactly an appealing decision. Yeah, I gotta make more stuff scale with physical damage, I think. I gotta make more stuff scale with physical damage. Really, bro? I was just joking. No. No. Yes, I am. I'm serious. Projects to allied ritual cards. Deal 4 damage. Here's what I'm going to do. I don't know if this is going to fix it. I still need to do like an audit of all the cards in the game. And I just need to... I think what I need to do is I need to build like a tool where I can see all the cards in the game. And then I can like just play around with making different builds. Or I need to take, I don't know. I need to enable different build types. And just take stock of like the ritual cards that I have and don't have. I don't know. There's a lot of work to do, but that's all content stuff. Like I think that'll be okay. There's a lot of work to do. This game's not even close to done. Anyway. Let's just do this for now. Let's up the damage here to 8. And we'll just see if that works. Take your time with it. It's panning out nicely. Yeah, I definitely will. I just have to, yeah, there's just a lot to do. That's all. That's all. Okay, mosquito swarm. What does the mosquito swarm need? Simple swarm and damage bank. Let's just throw some poison on it as well. Oh, not poison swarm. Mosquito swarm. How long have you been in a relationship? About a year. About a year. All right, apply 5 poison, deal 10 damage every 3rd execution, deal damage equal to damage dealt by this card in the previous 2 turns. Hello, Empirical Fun. Dragons are associated with treasure. Maybe some synergy in that direction. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Welcome back. Or welcome to the stream, by the way, Empirical Fun. I think this one is a problem, this ability. Every 3rd execution, deal damage equal to the damage dealt by this card in the previous 2 turns. Oh no, I think that's okay. Mosquito Swarm is a contender for a worst card in the game, yeah. I think... I guess it's bad because it takes up a lot of space. Should I just buff the damage? Or I guess I could... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I do think that Mosquito Swarm is kind of a bad card, but I don't know how to make it more appealing. I just realized the wording on that ability is confusing. Is it previous 2 turns or previous 2 executions? It is previous to... I guess those words... Yeah, I guess I see what you mean. Let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, this would be executions. So we'll fix that. Yeah, executions. Okay, here, I'm just gonna, in an attempt to make this a little bit more appealing, we're gonna add bleed to it as well. Okay. I'll have to revisit that one if it doesn't work. Okay, what's the next one? This Orbital class is kind of bad, but I think the problem is I don't have many... So the Orbital class does self-damage, the idea being that that should be able to scale, like you should be able to scale self-damage, but I don't really have a whole lot of stuff that does that, so... Mosquito suck blood, make them consume the player's bleed stacks for a benefit. Yeah, the problem that I have with that kind of idea is that then your build becomes super situational based on if an enemy can apply bleed to you or not. I guess it could synergize with bleed that you apply to the enemy, but if it requires that you have bleed on you, then without a reliable way of getting bleed on yourself, I think it would not be very compelling. Now, I could add things that apply bleed to yourself, for instance, but it's still like, it still feels very niche, you know? Anyway. The Phoenix. Biggest issue is that most large cards feel like a build cap. The Mosquito doesn't have that feel yet. I don't know what you mean by build cap. If you want to expand on that. Let's give the Phoenix heal. Simple fire, why is this? Ability builder dot fire. Why is simple fire still being used? I'm gonna fix all these places where simple fire is used. We're not gonna tolerate this simple fire nonsense. Okay, and we're gonna get rid of simple fire. Delete. Okay. What are we looking at? The Phoenix? Yeah, I think what I want to do is just give it... This is an interesting one, actually. Well, this exhausted debuff from the Phoenix will just... It will prevent any later abilities from executing. So the ability execution order matters. So if this is... If this is the first ability and then I add a second ability, when this executes twice, that second ability will not execute twice because the card will become exhausted immediately after the second execution of this, which is fine. I think what I want to do though is I want to add ability builder dot heal. We'll do it 8 heal. We're going to add heal to the Phoenix as well. Hopefully that works. Okay. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Okay, anyway. Maybe they suck the player's life. Yeah, I could do that. Like it tops off the build to complete it. Oh, I got you. Nowhere to go once you get that card. You've achieved greatness. Yeah. Hello, V. Welcome back. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. It's guessing educationally. You could give weak cards a stability boost so they have higher potential. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, great to have you back, V. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So that's the Phoenix. Phylactery, that's okay. Pitchfork. Plague Mask is kind of bad, I think. Randomly apply poison or heal. Yeah, that one's not that great. Oy, okay, well, anyway, I'm kind of running out of steam here. This dang flu or whatever it is, draining my energy. But we went longer today, so that's good. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream there and just go and rest up. Again, you can wishlist Alchemortis on Steam, and I'm gonna try to spend some time this afternoon updating this Steam page as well, so that it's a little bit more interesting, I guess. So yeah, definitely check it out, wishlist it if you're interested. You can also support me on Patreon and join the Discord. All that stuff is linked below. Yeah, we'll do another stream tomorrow. I'm sure I'll be well enough to do a normal length stream, and we'll continue on with what I was doing here, which is updating some of the cards, and then, yeah, what else? I think that's it. I think that's it. I should be able to pick up development of this game very soon, as soon as I feel back to 100%. And then we'll work toward doing another playtest so you all can check out the major new changes that are coming. So hopefully that happens soon. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. And hope to see you in the Discord. And I will talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.